Viewer discretion is advised. Cops is filmed on location with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
This week, you can zoom in on Charlie's Angels. Enter the...
From all of us to all of you, a very Merry Christmas.
Hello, Mr. Criminal CEO. It's from DG.com. I'm not here. Open the door, Mr. Criminal CEO. I'm here to do an inspection. You cannot enter. My office is protected under the European Convention on Human Rights and the European Charter of Fundamental Rights. DG.com is not subject to the European Convention on Human Rights, and I have a warrant authorizing inspection. My company is just a small and medium-sized company. Consider de minimis under the de minimis notice. The de minimis notice does not apply to object infringement. Help! I need help! Help! I need help!
Ding hard, smink!
I'm running out of patience. We suspect you of having engaged in illegal retail price maintenance clauses, and I have the right to do an inspection to collect evidence. Give me the evidence. The evidence. I know it's here. Show it up. Give it to me. Nothing. Perhaps in the closet. You must produce the incriminating evidence.
Ingenting.
Think of all the innocent consumer that your heinous crime has deprived access to cheap products. I know you have sent emails and texts trying to enforce your illegal policy. All emails are deleted and my phone was stolen yesterday. I cannot produce it. How convenient. This sounds very suspicious. You called for lawyers? Lawyers? Lawyers?
Fuck!
Let me pause it right here. This is obviously not how an inspection goes down. But that does not deprive the video of merits. So let's break it down to the individual parts. It is correct that DG.com can do a physical inspection of premises. It can also access any computer or data storages for the purpose of locating emails and other electronically stored evidence. The inspection can even include a private home, but DG.com must collect a warrant authorizing the inspection from a court, and the judge must actually review any presented evidence critically, and failure to do that can actually invalidate not only the inspection but also any collected evidence. It's also correct that DG.com is not subject to the European Convention on Human Rights, But Digicom is subject to the European Charter of Fundamental Rights that in most situations would establish the same fundamental rights. It's also correct that being de minimis, that is having a market share below 10 or 15%, is not an excuse for engaging in object infringement, and a vertical price maintenance clause would actually be an object infringement. It's also correct that the subject of the inspection has a right to consult legal counsel. They can call the lawyer, and Digicom is not obliged to wait until the arrival of the lawyer, but normally they would be willing to wait a half an hour, potentially an hour. Now, during an inspection, Digicom can inspect computers and collect evidence regardless of how it's stored. However, Digicom cannot access letters or email between you and outside legal counsel because that will be considered legal privilege. Digicom can obviously not use violence or intimidation, but in most situations you would actually be obliged to reply to questions in a professional manner. As a rule of thumb, you can sort of limit your answers to yes and no. If you need to provide a much more advanced answer than that, it might actually be outside of the power of Digicom. And when your lawyer arrives, you can leave the matter to them. Let's see how an inspection actually goes down. This is a video done by the UK CMA, that is the agency that enforces competition law in UK, and most of the principle can be translated directly to Digicom's.
Two of the Office of Fair Trading's investigators, Trevor Holden and Sian Davis, are about to launch a dawn raid on the head office of an importer and distributor of electronic devices. The OFT suspects that they, along with 3 other companies, have agreed the prices at which they will sell their products.
We received intelligence to suggest that the 4 major UK importers and distributors of electronic devices have agreed to keep their prices artificially high. If this turns out to be true, that means competition's being restricted and that customers are paying inflated prices.
So we are therefore part of a bigger team carrying out raids at all 4 companies. We also have a team in place at the homes of one of the sales managers whom we're told initiated the cartel and sometimes works from home.
Hello, how can I help?
Good morning, my name is Trevor Holden and this is my colleague Sian Davis. We're from the Office of Fair Trading and we're here with a warrant to search the premises. I need to speak to the person in charge.
I don't know anything about this. I'll need to call Mr. Houston, who's the MD. I'll need to talk to him.
Let me guess, the OFT. They're here too. Look, I'll get someone to call you back as soon as I know what's going on. Bye. That was my sales manager's wife on the phone, says that the OFT at her house. Her husband went to see a customer this morning and she can't get hold of him. I really have no idea why you're here. Never mind his house. It's beyond me. You'd better come into my office. I don't understand what this can be about. We've always been scrupulously fair in all of our business dealings.
Let me explain. This is a copy of the warrant and a notice explaining our powers as well as the company's rights. You'll need to read that carefully. You may also want to consult a lawyer. We're conducting a criminal investigation into suspected price fixing involving your company and a number of its competitors in the market for electronic devices. The warrant allows us to enter and search the premises and to seize any relevant documents. Failure to comply is a criminal offence.
We're looking for any relevant documents, either paper or on the computer. We'll take the paperwork and leave you with a list of what we've seized, but in respect of the electronic material, we'll want to take a forensic image. Do you have an IT expert we could speak to about the company's computer setup?
Yes.
You'll also need to leave us your laptop, phone and any other portable devices.
If it's okay with you, I'm going to call my solicitor.
And we will need to speak to your sales manager as soon as he's back from his meeting.
Well, that went pretty smoothly. At least they were cooperative and we seem to have gotten some really useful stuff to help us progress with the investigation.
I guess they don't have much choice over whether to comply, but it is easier for everyone when they're cooperative. I'll be interested to hear what the sales manager has to say in his interview. He looked a bit taken aback when he heard the police were here to arrest him.
Okay, let's go back to the office.